Hey guys, it's me Jake from JakeMan21642, and today I have an update video for you of my 2002 Honda Civic Si. As you can see, it is the first day of December here in Virginia, and it is a beautiful 75 degrees, because you just gotta love living in the South sometimes. But we have had a few cold days, and I've really just been driving this car around, and I have really come to love it. Like, I think next to the Beetle, which yes, I still have, this has probably been my favorite car I've owned. Like, I love the Saturn, I love the Accord. I've had people ask me if I regret selling the Saturn and getting the Accord because it died. No, I still loved the Accord. What happened with it was a complete fluke, and, you know, honestly, buying, as much as everyone would love to laugh at the Saturn, buying that car and driving it for 2 years kind of allowed me to save so much money. I was able to walk away from the Accord in the end, which I did get some money from it, but basically I walked away from that car. Anyway though, this is a car you really don't see that many of. I mean, honestly, in the entire time since Matt, my friend I bought it from, had this car, I think I've seen 2. And the time since I've bought this car, I've seen 1. And it was a white one on the highway with New Jersey plates that didn't have a front bumper. But anyway, I've really come to appreciate this generation Si. I'll be honest, when they came out, I didn't like them. I really didn't like the styling. I thought it was honestly trying to be a European car, and back then I really didn't know much about cars, and I didn't know the Si was anything special. I thought it was just another Civic. But I've really come to appreciate this car, because this is a lot different than the Si today. Which the Si today is still a pretty good car, but this is just different. This is really good, and this is the only, I know it was the last, but I'm pretty sure this was the only generation of Si that was its own platform. You know, it wasn't just a Civic EX with a bigger engine and tight suspension. Like, these were built in England when the regular Civic was built here in America. These were built right along next to the JDM and the Euro spec Type R, which of course the Type R is a little bit better than the Si, but Type R swap, bro. No, that's not happening. This car is staying pretty much the way it is, but you know, these are just special. These are really special cars in their own way, and they drive completely different than any Si I've ever driven. They drive it different than any Honda I've ever driven. It is a fantastic car. But anyway, I'll go ahead and give you guys a little walk around of it. And I just wanted to say too, as I'm making this video, I just left the house, and I just crossed 2,000 subscribers, so thank you for that. You guys are all awesome. I love being able to share my passion and my nerdiness for sometimes cars that aren't the best here on YouTube, so thank you for that. Anyway, coming around the car, as you can see, there are all still the little dings and stuff on the side, just typical 12-year-old car stuff. This thing has lived in the city its entire life. But coming around the back, this one does have the 15-inch alloy wheels, which were standard on the pre-refresh. Maybe post-refresh alloy wheels eventually, but those are 5-lug. And as you can see, these are 4-lug. They are riding on Goodyear Eagle RSA tires. These are the exact same tires from the Accord, and cheap tires, but honestly, they feel fantastic on this car. They're surprisingly good tires for cheap ones, and they're at least a brand name. Coming along the back, you can see I've gotten even more ridiculous stickers. Had to get that, and then that down there. And then as you can see, I did get my custom plates, the K20A3 ones, with the license plate frame I got on eBay. Yeah, this is cute, but it'll probably peel eventually. It was $2, so I don't really care. And then my favorite part of the car right here does have the dual tips. I mean, pretty much all the same stuff I've been over before. Coming along this side, did get that also. And then down there, same IV Tech sticker that's been on it. Coming along the front of the car, nothing much has really changed. I think it's time to probably buff the headlights again, because they are getting a little fadey, but this car spends so much time on the highway. As you can see, Si badge on the front, and then the hood, which does have some rock chips, but I've been over all that before. You can see the license plate on the front, and this is the quality of the US Postal Service. This is why the Postal Service is about to go out of business. These came in the mail, already pre-bent, so thank you for that, USPS. My $35 for my plates really went to a good cause. So we'll go ahead and step inside the car, I guess. And then this was the last sticker I added. This is probably my favorite. And coming inside, I did wash it and vacuum it out yesterday, but I also did have 4 people in the car last night going to a concert. So it's a little bit dirty. It is fall, so it's the time of the year where you can't really avoid getting dirt and stuff like that in your car. But we'll go ahead and start it up. And that's that. As you can see too, I do have the original key fob, the black one, and then I do have the valet key. And I did buy this on eBay, just a keyless entry remote. It does work, as you can see. But I do need to order a power lock actuator for this door, which I will get done eventually, but for now, all I do when I need to lock it is it does that typical Honda thing where you push it down and it locks all the doors. So, and the thing is too, power lock actuators are like 10 bucks on eBay. It's just my pure laziness. I haven't ordered it yet. Go ahead and start it up. As you can see right now, I'm sitting at 164,919, and it is December 1st, and on 11/12 I was at 163,915. So I've driven 1,000 miles in like 3 weeks. So yeah, this car is definitely racking up the miles. So coming inside, this does have the leather wrap steering wheel. I've been over that before. And basically nothing much has really changed inside. I do still have the OEM radio. And I mentioned this in my last video, but I guess it wasn't really clear, or maybe I just have some deaf fans, but do still have the stock radio in here. I do still have my radio from the Accord. Radio from the Accord will probably go in here in the next month or two. I'm going to take it to the same shop I had the radio put in the Beetle, because this all looks like a royal pain to take apart and put back together. And I need to get a wiring harness, I need to get all that, and they're really good about their labor and parts. So I'm just going to take it there and get it put in, and I'll probably put in the subwoofer myself maybe. But that is going in here. I just need to get it done. I'll probably wait for my next paycheck or so to do it. But for now, this radio isn't that bad. I've been driving around listening to it, and it's mainly on the satellite radio. It's not that loud. And this car also does have all 4 factory speakers, which surprisingly aren't blown. That even surprised me. Actually, no, all 6. I take that back, because I forget I have my little tweeters up here. But that'll go in here eventually. I just haven't yet. But otherwise, everything is pretty much the same other than this. I did add this shifter. I was going to get a black one with the red letters, but they were out of stock. So I got this on eBay. People can laugh, call it ricey, whatever, but I like the way it looks. It adds a bit of color to this interior. And it also sits lower than the OEM one, so when I'm in 5th on the highway, I don't bump the shifter all the time going for the radio. I do still have the OEM shifter down here, which, as you can see, this one is a lot shorter. But other than that, interior is pretty much stock. And I really like this too. It's a weighted knob. It's just very nice to row through the gears. And I've had almost everyone that looks at this car online and in person is like, that shifter is so weird. But I absolutely love the placement of this shifter. I can see why Honda did it. Like, it's just so nice to roll it through the gears. And it's just such a nice position. One of my friends who really isn't even that good at driving stick drove the car, and he was like, okay, he goes, it looks stupid when you're in the passenger seat, but driving it, I can see it. It's very nice. But as I mentioned, otherwise, everything is pretty much the same in here. I've really gotten used to these seats. They are quite firm. I mean, the way the car rides in general is very, very, very firm compared to everything I've ever had, but these seats are so comfortable. And going from a CB7 Accord, which anyone who's ever owned or been in one of those knows, those are one of the most comfortable cars. Like, I have never had anything that was as comfortable as my Accord, except this car. This is even more comfortable, I'd say. The seats are very nice and bolstery. They're, like I said, they're a little firm, but they're still very comfortable. They have this very nice plush cloth in the middle. And one thing I've noticed too is since the shifter's up here, there's a very just nice open area in the middle. So on the highway with cruise on, I can kind of just sit back and have plenty of room, which is very nice. So other than that, interior is pretty much the same. Satellite radio antennas up there, and I am using an FM transmitter, which just came with the car to use my satellite radio. But I'll get all that taken care of eventually. So we'll go ahead, step out. And as I was saying too, the car does ride a little firm, which I have improved the ride a little bit, and I'll get to that in a second, but I've really come to appreciate it because for around town driving in the city, it's a little harsh over bumps, but it's very nice actually driving around because you can really pass people and move the car around. It's nice. And same goes for highway. Like, you can weave in this car like a jackass. and it will be like, oh, that's all you got? Like, it is very, very nice. So, another thing is, too, I was reading reviews of these online. I went back on Edmunds to reviews people wrote about these cars when they were a year or two old. And a lot of them actually, you know, unlike today, how the SI is kind of a boy racer. I mean, it's still a good car, but it's kind of a boy racer, oh, VTEC fast kind of car. These were people who really were like, yeah, I looked at the regular Civic, I liked it, but I went with the SI because I do a lot of highway driving and I wanted something a little bit more comfortable and powerful. So that was interesting to see because that's definitely the way I drive. Anyway, we'll go ahead, pop the hood right here. God, these carpets are so dirty and I just vacuumed it yesterday. And then coming around to the back, pop the trunk, which is a mess right now. My trash can is back here because, as I mentioned, I had 4 people in the car and everything's just kind of thrown around, but that's that. Kind of not much you can do about it. I still need to clean it out and get some of the stuff out. As you can see, I have like 3 jackets back here. Coming around to this side, still probably one of the best parts of this car, which I was really surprised about, is the back seat. Stepping in, as you can see, there are a bunch of CDs on the floor. It's actually a lot of CDs on the floor, which these are all ones that have been in pretty much every car I've owned. But for what it is, the back seat in this car is so nice. Like, I've had, my friend and I, we went up to pick his brother up from college and he rode back here. He said it was more comfortable than the Accord. Like, he was like, oh no, this is a great back seat. And then last night, I had 2 people up front, and then, or I was driving and I had a person up front, and then I had 2 more people back here coming back from the concert, and this was great. And honestly, too, another thing I noticed, this car, you can't tell when you have 4 people in it. Like, it does not feel like it has any extra weight. So, we'll go ahead, pop that forward. I think there's a drug deal going down over here. And up front, everything's pretty much the same. But coming up underneath the hood, go ahead and tell you the few things I have done. As you can see, air intake is still on there. I'll probably get a legit air intake setup eventually. But the few things I have done with this car was I changed the oil, and I had synthetic oil put in. I also did change the serpentine belt right here, because the one that was on it was a little cracked and dry, so I got all this done at my local Midas, because they are fantastic. And another thing I found out, their lead service technician who took care of my car is an ex-Honda tech. So they did all that. And then I also, when I bought the car, I knew it needed this because it was triggering the check engine light every once in a while. But it did need a NOx sensor, and I went ahead and just got it done because Midas said they could do it for under 200 bucks, which they did. So the car has a brand new NOx sensor now, and it is running absolutely fantastic. Like, this is such a great car, and that is totally a drug deal. And I'll go ahead and close the hood. Other than that, I did get the car aligned once I put the tires on it. And as I mentioned, it really wasn't staying aligned like it would for a day or two. And I later found out that this car does have adjustable control arms in the rear, and this side's upper control arm was on its way out. So Midas did replace it, 158 bucks put on, which was a fantastic price. And so now that's good. And the car actually rides a lot better. Like, the control arm wasn't making any noise, but the wheel definitely had a little bit of hop on the highway. Gone now. Otherwise, everything is still going great. I definitely plan on keeping this car for well over 200,000 miles because I absolutely love it. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Any questions, comments, anything like that, drop them down below. And please, subscribe for more.